All right. Is it recording?
Mhm.
Okay. Hi, I'm Christian and this is Katie, and we are doing a small group counseling session focused on social skills. So, what are social skills? Social skills are skills we use every day to interact and communicate with others. They include verbal and nonverbal communications such as speech, gesture, facial expression, and body language. So, why are social skills important? Many students lack basic social skills, and social skills are important for improving student interactions, improving daily social functioning. They help students make friends, teach students essential life skills. They help students function better in class, and they teach students to follow rules, expectations, and procedures. It also increases their self confidence, their self concept, and their self esteem. So, for our small group counseling session, our target group demographic are students in kindergarten or first grade, and we plan to have 4 to 5 students in the small group. And we're aiming for 6 sessions, which are 30 minutes, and yeah, 30 minutes per week for 6 weeks. So, with our target demographic, there are some developmental considerations to keep in mind. It's important to keep in mind that all children develop at different rates. Also, in kindergarten to first grade, this is a time when children are seeking approval and attention. They enjoy showing off and they may dance, sing, or act out and just be silly in general to get attention. They seek approval from friends, and they may also get jealous when other kids spend time with their friend. They're eager to please and be first and win. And actually, as a substitute teacher teaching kids in this stage group, the common, classic example is having a kid throw a tantrum because they didn't get to be first in line and be the line leader. They get their feelings hurt very easily at this age, and they may have tantrums or get angry when they feel they aren't being listened to. At this age, they're beginning to understand right from wrong, but at times they look for loopholes to get what they want. They also follow rules, but they can also be quick to criticize others who don't follow the rules. At this age, they're starting to become more aware of other people's feelings, and they're beginning to understand that friendships aren't things that they can control all by themselves. They're beginning to learn important concepts at this age, such as sharing, and these are skills that we're hoping to reinforce. Some multicultural considerations to keep in mind with this age group. It's important to remember that some children have received more schooling than others and have had a chance to hone their social skills more than others. Also, with a largely white female teaching force and an increasing number of students from culturally diverse backgrounds, cultural misunderstandings enter in and can negatively impact both teachers and students. Under these conditions, the social behaviors of culturally and linguistically different children need to be understood to distinguish differences from deficits. It's also important to recognize that there is a dominant culture which exists in our educational institutions today, and that children from minority groups have not been socialized according to the rules of the dominant culture, and therefore need explicit instruction on the expectations within that school environment. And actually, a common example of this is teachers who are working with children in minority groups and who used veiled language, and will ask, if a child is out of their seat, the teacher will say something like, "Is this where you belong?" When really they should be more direct and say, "I need you to return to your seat," because in the previous example, that's just creating more misunderstanding. And yeah. So, also, the culture of the school often aggravates rather than remedies the social skill problems of students from culturally and linguistically different backgrounds. So, the identified concern for our group We are looking to reduce problem behaviors or negative behaviors such as fighting with others, getting angry easily, and arguing with others. And at the same time, we're aiming to reinforce positive social skills such as the ability to make and keep friends, empathy, sharing with others, accepting other peers' ideas, and joining others in play. So our SMART goal for this social skills group is to reinforce social skills, including making and maintaining friendships, sharing, accepting, oops, accepting the ideas of others, being cognizant of others' thoughts and feelings, and general etiquette when playing with others. These improvements will be measured with pre and post tests for teachers, as well as a rating scale to measure students' social skills. Teachers will hopefully see improved classroom behavior from their students, and these students in our social skills group will have more successful peer relationships. And in doing so, meeting these goals will set up our students for success in future relationships and their future educational goals. By the end of our 6-week counseling session, we're hoping that our post tests and rating scales will show improved social skills in our students. So, what does the research say about social skills? Children who have acquired the essential social skills have a higher academic achievement in later grades, as well as becoming more successful in adult social relationships. Additionally, negative peer relationships often become some form of bullying in later elementary and middle school years. The children who bully appear to lack social skills from positive foundational experiences in the kindergarten years. In the United States, 19% of the same age children suffer from bullying.
So like Christian was saying, we would collect data. So we would get a pre and post test from teachers. And this is just one example of a pre and post test rating scale. And if you go to this link, you can get access this rating scale. And this would be all about social skills. It's very targeted to that. And if you're working with students that are a little bit older, you can use a student version as well. For our age group, they're a little too young for that. And
Next slide.
Yeah, starting in on the sessions. So before I start in on the first session, for this age group, we would do a explicitly and reinforcing the rules. And so an easy way to do that is to have 2 different cups. So for the happy cup, a group can earn points if they have good behavior, which we would explicitly define. And then if for bad behavior, you would get points in the sad cup. As you can see from this picture, you can use anything from a sad puppy to a happy puppy, anything like that. And by the end of the session, if they have more points in the happy cup, then everyone can get a reward. And for example, you can do a sticker for the main board. Everyone gets a sticker and a mint. And if they have more points in the sad cup, then they don't get a reward. And so this will help them set goals and kind of see where they're at in terms of their behavior for each session. And then at the end, they would, on I think the second session, they're going to set a goal of how many stickers they want on the chart till the end. And so for the materials, it's pretty much whatever you have lying around. Just have 2 cups and have sad and happy pictures, and really anything that just shows the points. And so in this case, you can use jacks or marbles, anything like that. And then you need your rewards. So in this case, stickers, a sticker chart, and mints. So for the first session, you would have rules. So you can come in with some rules. You can also ask them, because it's a great opportunity for them to kind of brainstorm with each other what kind of rules that they would want to see in the group. And then you explain the purpose of the group in developmentally appropriate terms. For example, learning how to be a STAR student. And then go over confidentiality in developmentally appropriate terms. Hopefully you have some kind of poster so it becomes a little more concrete that they can refer to. And then for the activity, you're gonna play a get to know you game. So this one's called Jungle Fun. And there's a link at the bottom to the demo that I did with my sisters to kind of show you what it looks like. And I made a board. I called this one Garden Fun just because of the things that I had lying around. But in terms of materials, you have cardboard, construction paper, really anything to make it fun and creative, and then game pieces. And the links at the bottom are the directions, and you do have cards that you print out. So basically you land on, if you land on a square, you pick up a card and you answer the question. So I like this professional athlete because blank. So you basically get to know each other. All right, and then the second session, this one, so you always want to review the rules and confidentiality because at this age, they may forget and you want to make sure that they're continually reminded. And so this session, you also are going to set a goal for the number of happy points that they want to earn total by the end of 6 sessions. So this helps them kind of set a goal, set something they can work towards, and kind of figuring out how many happy points they want at the end. And so this one, we're going to go over what poor social skills looks like. So we can brainstorm what kind of social skills that they like and that they've seen. And then this is an example of some poor social skills. So they're going to watch this Pixar short film for the birds. It's pretty fun. And there's a link at the bottom to the short film, so you don't have to buy it or anything. And then at the end, you're going to discuss the behaviors that they saw, what kinds of things made it poor social skills, and how they see that in their school. Do they engage in those things, those kinds of things. And then there's a link to a worksheet that they will complete. There's an example on the side that's basically this bird is making fun of the other bird. What would you do in that scenario? So they can draw, color, write if they know how to write, those kinds of things, and you can help them with that. And then you are going to collect all these things, all these worksheets that they make, and then you can give them to them at the end. All right. So session 3, once again, you're going to review the rules, confidentiality, and you're also going to review the goal setting that for the cup points that they had set last session. Just kind of reminding them that they do have those cup points. And then for this session, the goal is to really have them learn and reflect on sharing. And so you're going to read this book, or there's a link at the bottom that's to a read aloud. And you're going to pause every now and then when you come across the frog doing a good thing, sharing with the other frogs, or a bad thing, not sharing. And then at the end, you're going to discuss how they see sharing in school. Have they engaged in sharing? What does that look like? And then there's also a worksheet linked here where they can draw ideas about sharing at school. All right, session 4, once again, review everything, make sure that they understand. And then the goal of this session is to have them positively identify and express feelings. And so they can do that through this cute little game, the PBS Kids game called Toby's Robot Workshop. And basically this is a little program that lets them create a robot, and they can give it feelings, and then they can give it special talents or powers. And so one option is you can have them create a robot that's similar to themselves, but they can also just create a random robot. And then at the end, they're going to share and discuss their robot and how they can tell if their robot is elated, angry, talk about its special powers and talents and how everyone has different ones, and really being able to discuss how do you identify and express those through these robots. Okay, and session 5, once again, review the rules, confidentiality, those kinds of things. And then you're gonna read The Beautiful Oops. So you can read aloud, or if you don't have the book, I also put a link down below to the video of it being read aloud. And you can stop now and then when you come across something, because the goal of this is mistakes happen, but you can kind of spin it a different way and have it become something creative. So every time that happens, kind of stop in the book and say, okay, this is a mistake. How can you make this into something good? And so for the activity, I have a link down below of me and my sisters doing this activity, so you can kind of see how it is. But really, you just have a bunch of pieces of paper and you're gonna have mistakes on them. So you cut them up, draw on them, those kinds of things. And then the kids can pick the paper and that they like, and then they just make something creative out of it. Draw a picture, those kinds of things. And then, yeah, so there's a link to the book as well, right? And then the final session, this is really for reflecting. So you want to look back on their work and have them kind of be able to reflect. What did you learn? What were your favorite parts? Hopefully they can remember something. If they're kind of struggling, you can kind of remind them of some things that they learned. And then if they met the goal that they had set in session 2, on the sticker board, then everyone gets a prize from the prize box. And so you can get a little treasure box and have some dollar store things in it, or have some tickets for free things like eating in your office or something like that. And then at the end, you could have them play the Jungle Fun game again, and see the growth of how they know each other, how hopefully they've kind of bonded and become friends, and how they're able to use those skills. All right, so really quickly, I just included this social skills curriculum. Here's a link where you can find a bunch. Hopefully your school has some, because they're pretty expensive, but I know I used Second Step and it was great. They have kits for different age groups, and they have puppets and tons of material. So this is also an option. It's just a pretty expensive option, but I did want to have a link to all the tier 1, 2, and 3 social skills curriculum. So the overall merits and drawbacks of our group. So for the merits, they're basically learning a bunch of skills in a short amount of time. So each session has a different skill that they learn, and they do some activity to kind of have that go into their brain. But it's a short amount of time, so it's a really good use of the time that you have in school, and it's free. So all these activities. The books you don't have to buy, they're on YouTube, and all the activities have material that hopefully you have lying around, cardboard, paper, those kinds of things. And what's great about these sessions is that it can be used in small group like we just talked about, but it can also be used class-wide if you want. If you're having a classroom where a teacher is saying majority of my students have poor social skills, you can have her or him do the all of these sessions class-wide. Some drawbacks, and these are some drawbacks overall with our group, but also just small groups in general if you don't use a curriculum. So if it's not a full curriculum, so if you're using like the last slide, that's evidence-based, it's kind of packaged together, and it has research solely from that curriculum, but it is expensive. It is a short time frame, so you're not expecting a huge jump. So the pre and post tests, we're not thinking, okay, social skills are going to go crazy up. It's a small amount of time. So that is one thing, but it is in a school, so you kind of have to work with it. And it's not individualized. So some kids may love the activities. It may not reach other kids. They might find it boring, or they might love it. So it's kind of, it may not benefit all children equally. But that's just the nature of small group. All right. And here are resources, references. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.